Hello, my name is Carol, and I am going to start writing and doing videos about the Me Too movement. This story is about Timmy, who lived downstairs below us in an old apartment. Hi, Carol here again. I am going to start with one of the earliest memories I have to share to give people an idea of how we as girls start being programmed to realize and believe that we shouldn't speak up when people act against us. So let me begin with a story I remember when I was, I believe, 9 going on 10. I believe it was in 1970. And we lived in an apartment building, which was an old house basically, divided into 4 apartments on 4900 Troop Street. I believe the address was 4947 South Troop, Chicago, Illinois, 60609. We lived up above a family who had a mother and father, a girl named Sherry, and I believe she was at least 3 or more years older than I was. It seemed like she was about 16 years old, but it could have been just 13. 16 just seems so weird. She used to play dolls with my sister and I. My sister was 2.5 years younger than me. So we used to play dolls and we were friends. She was older. Used to definitely feel like she wasn't as in tune with the understanding things as much as I was. Because while we were playing dolls, I believe she must have mentioned something that didn't make any sense. And since I had previously lived in a children's home at the age of 9, I learned from an older girl about the facts of life, kind of by accident. It wasn't fun, but I learned what the word F-U-C-K means, and learning about the facts of life that way makes it sound so vulgar and hostile and violent. It doesn't equate to a nice way to learn, especially since the stories she told me was about how she had been raped. So anyway, that's how I learned about the facts of life. And so when I was living after the children's home with my mother and grandmother, and I used to play with this girl from downstairs, she had a younger brother that was either my age or maybe a year older, and he would chase me. And it was very terrorizing in my head because he would chase me apparently when nobody else was around, if I had just gone outside, and I didn't like it, and I would feel like I was running for my life. I guess from the fear of the unknown. I had no freaking idea what he was going to do when he caught me, and I didn't like it, and I felt terrorized. But it didn't seem like something I could report because it seemed so immaterial. And of course, when you're a kid, you're chased, you go on with your life, things happen. But this one particular day, I was being chased, and I noticed his father was outside. So I thought, oh, well, I'm safe because I just have to be chased, but his dad's going to tell him to knock it off. Well, to my surprise, I can see that his dad is not telling him to knock it off, and in fact, I hear him laughing. And with that, I stopped dead in my tracks about half a block away from where we lived, turned around, saw his dad laughing and looking at us, and he runs up to me, and I grabbed his hand as fast as he could. I just got some kind of strange strength. My adrenaline was so strong and I was so pissed off. I grabbed his arm and pushed it up behind his back as hard as I possibly could, and I just threw him away from me. I was very angry, and at that moment I was not going to tolerate with that crap any longer. If his father wasn't going to stick up for me, I certainly knew that I had to stick up for myself. And with that, of course, the kid ran back home near his dad, to his dad, crying. And I'll never forget The father didn't stick up for me while the son was chasing me to tell him to stop harassing me, but he beat the crap out of his son because a girl beat him up. And I believe that was one of my first experiences of feeling it wasn't a direct sexual harassment, but it felt like that in my mind just because of how I knew from learning in the children's home what that word meant. I think I might have been traumatized from that and worried about any interaction probably from a guy, and if he's chasing me, what the hell is he chasing me for? So I was very horrified, terrorized with that. But I did stop, and I stopped in my tracks and made it known that I'm not going to tolerate it anymore, and I never did get taunted by him again. As a matter of fact, I noticed when I would step outside, if he was out, he would run away from me. So that was a good spin on what had initially happened to me, and hopefully maybe you might want to share this with your girls too, your young girls, to let them know they need to stand up for themselves and demand to be respected and to not tolerate actions towards them that they don't like. The one thing I did not do is I never reported it. If the adult, his father, thought it was funny, it's kind of discounted in your head, your small, young mind's head, that it must not be a big deal for adults. But I know that as a child, I was terrorized. When you're a child, you don't realize that the feelings that you have are something to be validated. If you see the reaction from an adult that is making it a light issue, you feel alone and you feel like you must be wrong in being so upset. So I'm sharing this story. This is one of my younger experiences, and I just want to go through, I'm going to go through as far back in my memory as I can remember of instances like this and try to share them and hope that they can be a learning lesson, something maybe you can share with your girls and help girls to not tolerate this type of thing, help them to learn how to stand up for themselves, fight back, always fight back. Don't ever let someone can intimidate you. So I hope you enjoyed hearing the story. I wanted to try to make it as detailed as possible, but as short as possible so I don't bore you to death. And I will try to continue with more. So thank you. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I want to see if I can get people that are interested and if they care in my stories. And more importantly than anything, I want to make sure that we are supporting the women who are coming out now and sharing their stories of abuse and harassment, because people seem to think that they're lying and that they should have said something before. But I, for one, know for a fact that there are situations that prohibit you from saying anything or speaking up. It's embarrassing, it's intimidating, and it's just downright hard. So hopefully with the Me Too movement, we can all start sharing our stories, not hiding anymore, not trying to feel shameful of something that someone did to us, but instead speaking up and not tolerating this anymore. Let's grow. Let's improve the world. Let's make it better for our younger generation. Thank you. Again, don't forget to subscribe, please. I think it's down there. Push that red subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you. Have a great day. I feel like it's very important that we bring this to the attention of our younger generation, and especially the females, so that they know what to expect and how to defend themselves and not tolerate it any longer.